Downtown Bentonville and Bentonville Schools are choosing love in this special episode of Downtown Now. We'll speak to the students driving positive change in their schools and sit down with the mother who started the movement, Scarlett Lewis. Downtown Now starts right now. If you are unfamiliar with Choose Love, this episode will bring you into the heart of the movement. It's an effort filled with purpose, heartache, compassion, and love. The mission behind the Jessie Lewis Choose Love movement is to create safer and more loving communities through no-cost character, social, emotional development programs. Choose Love Day was November 9th in downtown Bentonville. The event brought kids from nearly every Bentonville school out to the square to set up booths and encourage dialogue around courage, gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion in action. We spoke to high school students in Bentonville about their involvement in the movement. Take a listen.
I'm a student at Bentonville West, and we have been involved for the past 2 years planning the community event.
I'm actually a national ambassador for Choose Love, and I'm also the Arkansas State representative.
I became involved last year at the beginning in the fall. I am part of the soccer team at West. They were doing a food drive for Choose Love.
I first got into Choose Love last year, and I did a booth called Coffee and Healing, where we were serving coffee to people and cookies. And we had these coffee filters where you would write all your issues, and then we'd put water on them, they'd all wash away.
Over the summer, I had an internship at the museum, so when I found out and got super involved in Choose Love, I reached out to them.
So the Choose Love movement provides a sense of belonging and inclusivity for everyone so that they don't feel left out.
It really means that I spread kindness.
It means to me what I want to see the world become, where everyone starts with an open mind, open heart. We use our words, we listen to each other.
It's really vital that we are being inclusive to everyone and welcome anyone.
Seeing them spread like the pillars of Choose Love, which is like forgiveness and kindness, and just implementing that in their everyday lives.
Teaching kids about how to be like kinder and more courageous is always going to be beneficial. So I think it's an overall positive movement.
I think the Choose Love movement is super crucial to the world we're in today. It's a crazy society, and I think that it's really important that kids are getting that social emotional learning.
Because it just shows that how much we can grow from like such a traumatic event that can happen, and that it doesn't have to define us, but rather what we learn from it, we could spread to others and help them overcome what they've gone through in their life as well.
You can never say that a safer and more loving school is a bad thing, and it's applicable to a variety of school levels. So whether it be elementary kids, preschool kids, all the way up to high school kids, there's always like a room for improvement to make a school more safe and more loving.
You're never alone. There's always other people going through this.
I think what Scarlett started was very important because it gives a sense of inclusivity and belonging that you don't necessarily have implications of elsewhere, and so this really puts the emphasis that it needs to happen.
To learn more about Choose Love, you can scan the QR code on your screen or visit chooselovemovement.org. Scarlett Lewis founded the nonprofit Jessie Lewis Choose Love movement in honor of her late son, who was murdered during the Sandy Hook Elementary School tragedy in December 2012. Scarlett created the Choose Love formula to teach children how to handle adversity, have courageous conversations, and respond with love. Dana Schlagenhaft sat down with Scarlett Lewis to learn more.
On November 9th, you were downtown for a big event. I want to talk a little bit about that and your Choose Love movement today, but let's talk about the event that happened. There were a lot of children. It was hosted by Bentonville Schools, and all of those children were learning and laughing, and some of them running around and having a great time. There was music and food. What was that like to experience here on the Bentonville Square?
It was absolutely incredible. I mean, this is what we think about when we think about joy and living in America. It's being together with families, really anywhere. A healthy community is one that gets together and celebrates themselves and each other, and just everyone showed up last night, and it was just so incredibly beautiful. It's literally the epitome of what my goal has been, and that is to spread Jesse's message of nurturing, healing, love, have people embrace it, practice this concept of choosing love as a thoughtful response every day, and having a lot of fun is a really big part of that. And we did that. It was amazing last night, just through song and dance and connection and belonging and compassion. It was just beautiful.
Kids hugging, running into each other. It was fun to watch and fun to see them all interact.
It was amazing. They all had the Choose Love duck in some way incorporated into their school logos and little tattoos on their face, and all of the roads leading into the square were reassigned names based on the formula, which is courage. So we had a courage street, and gratitude and forgiveness and compassion and action. And then there would be little stations set up by each of the 23 schools that participated, which is just absolutely incredible that you all in this area have so many schools that are choosing love and speaking the same language and learning the same essential life skills. It's absolutely amazing. So everyone practicing, the students bringing their parents, and their parents going through each of the stations and having fun and really feeling how good it feels to choose love and to practice each of these character values. And then hopefully with renewed passion to bring it home and to do it in their homes as well.
All of this is part of the Choose Love movement, and we have to talk about Jesse, a 6-year-old little boy. I want to know about him as a person, as a child. What was he into? What was he like?
Jesse, I love talking about him. I like to say he was born 11 pounds. So a little bit larger than life.
Yeah.
And he literally was that way his entire life. He was bouncing off the walls. He had this really, I call it like an Owen Meany voice. If you've ever read the book Owen Meany by John Irving, there's this little boy, and everything that the little boy says is in capital letters. So that's very much like Jesse. And he was just so active. We live on a little farm. And so my philosophy was, we didn't have a TV. I wanted the boys outside and playing. And if they came home at the end of the night with dirty fingernails, then they'd had a really good time. Everybody slept well at Wild Rose Farm.
And then start it all again the next day.
That's right.
A bunch more energy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
On December 14th, 2012, the nation watched as a very angry young man walked into Sandy Hook Elementary School and gunned down 20 students, including Jesse. Jesse died as a hero, and he died saving other children. I want to talk about that and his heroic efforts in the last moments of his life.
I think it's really important to mention, too, that the angry young man was a recent former graduate of the Newtown school system that was going back to the school that he had attended, to the very classrooms that he had sat in as a first grader. So he knew where the first graders were. He was looking for soft targets. He played video games. He knew the languaging. He shot the gun in the video games that he used, and shot his way through the glass doors. And this is after killing his mom at his house before he left. Went to the elementary school, shot his way through the glass doors, and made a left down the first grade hallway. his guidance counselor, actually, his actual guidance counselor, as well as my older son and Jesse's guidance counselor, along with the principal, walked out of a meeting room that they were having with another parent, and he shot them dead, and then he turned left into Jesse's classroom. And the students were scattered, and he continued shooting. He killed Jesse's teacher, who was standing right behind him, and then his gun either jammed or ran out of bullets. And during the short delay when he was changing his clip, Jesse yelled for his friends to run. And they credit his brave actions for saving their lives now. So 9 lives, which is really amazing. And then Adam, reloaded and then killed the rest of the people in that room, and then everyone, unfortunately, in the next classroom, until he heard approaching police sirens. And then he went back into the first classroom and killed himself. So it was a total of 20 first graders and 6 educators, and then 28, including Adam and his mom.
You're preparing for your son's funeral, and you're in your home, and everything at that point, the trajectory of your life is changed. And Jesse left you a message, and that changed your outlook. Tell me about that and how it was the catalyst for everything that we see today with Choose Love.
It's absolutely amazing, because when something like that happens, your body goes into shock for survival. And I remember thinking, I wonder if I will survive this. So just to give you an idea of where I actually was. And I thought that I would never be able to go home to this little farmhouse that where I raised my 2 boys as a single mom. But I found myself having to get Jesse's clothes for him to wear in the casket. You never think about these things, right? And you shouldn't have to.
No.
So I went back home with a bunch of family members and got his clothes, was on my way out with my bundle, and I see these 3 words on our kitchen chalkboard: nurturing, healing, love. Phonetically spelled, because he was in first grade and just learning to write. But I knew, seeing those, that if Adam Lanza, the former student, the shooter, had been able to give and receive nurturing, healing, love, the tragedy would never have happened. It's so simple. People who love themselves don't want to hurt themselves or other people. We know that hurt people hurt people. And I thought, wow, this is the solution. And so literally from that moment on, I have spent every day spreading that message of nurturing, healing, love, which is what we saw on the Bentonville Square, which is just so beautiful. It was just a perfect representation of it.
I want to talk about how this is implemented in the school system. We can talk about here locally, but it's in over 10,000 schools worldwide. It's no-cost curriculum. Tell me what the kids are learning and how they're learning it and how they're interacting with each other in the school environment.
So it's no-cost lifespan curriculum. So we start prenatally and we go all the way up to communities and businesses, because it's based on a formula. And this formula helps you get in between what's happening in your life and your thoughtful response, and it helps you choose love. And of course, that is the more powerful response than reacting in anger and hatred and revenge. When you do that, you're not in control. Your survival brain is in control. And we want to be working from our prefrontal cortex, which is the newest part of our brain. It's what differentiates us from animals, that we can actually choose in every situation, circumstance, or interaction how we thoughtfully respond. And we can use this wonderful, we call human brain. We teach neuroscience along with this. So there are a series of lessons all within the framework of this powerful formula. We teach social and emotional learning. We teach growth mindset, neuroscience, positive psychology, mindfulness, all on a base of post-traumatic growth. And post-traumatic growth is research showing that when we go through difficulty, we have the capacity to grow. And I say this is actually how we're created, to grow through difficulty. It gets our attention. We have to make changes, and hopefully we have some skills and tools that they are positive changes. And then we are more prepared when the next challenge comes along in our lives. We can either be taken down by hurt and pain, or we can learn from it, grow through it, and be strengthened by it. And of course, we know that as human beings, we all want to love and be loved. And without love, we suffer. But we all also feel hurt and pain. And we know that our kids are going to feel hurt and pain, and we don't want them to. And we may do everything that we can to keep them from that. But we know at some point they're going to. So it is really our responsibility to fortify them with the skills and tools they need to take that pain and learn from it. And then hopefully use that wisdom from that learned experience to help other people.
The ripple effect of this generation of children learning this will have such lasting effect in our world.
In every aspect, I'm
also hoping that they're taking it home to their parents. So how do parents learn this from their children? How do they continue that education at home as well?
So the elementary school students, we have elementary, middle, and high school. Every grade level is scaffolded all the way up with learning. And in the elementary school level, we actually have lessons that the kids take home to their parents so they can talk with them about it. But in addition to that, we have a parent program.
Yes.
And 3 different levels. It's all free. And we talked about that last night with the parents on the square. You can go on to chooselovemovement.org and download it and start implementing it in your home. And even if you don't want to it depends on timing and how much effort you want to devote to this, but there are also great calendars that you can hang up on your fridge, and you can practice these skills and tools. And here's the really important thing about this type of learning. And it's relationship skills, it's emotional management, it's learning how to self-regulate and make good choices and more. These are not skills and tools that we're born with. We have to learn them. And we know that it's not just having them here, because what good do they do here? We have to actually be consciously aware of them and practice them every single day. And I like to say that life is this beautiful thing, that it gives us the opportunity to practice our social and emotional competence every day, because you know, we hit snags and challenges, we get triggered from past traumas, and it's really important that we are able to be present in the moment and then thoughtfully respond, because then we're in control. And when we're in control, it feels good. We can identify and take advantage of opportunities that come our way. And bottom line is, we have hope. When we're not in control, when we're working from our fear brain, and you know, this can be triggered so many times during the day from past traumas that we might not even know that we have. You know, trauma isn't just what happened to you, it's what didn't happen to you as well. It is the unmet needs that you carry on through your life and then maybe try to get met in unhealthy ways. So you're reacting from all of this, maybe not even knowing, and it's really important that you can have your sense of control, and it's actually called locus of control, the location of control, because when it is outside of you, then you can blame other people for where you are. You can feel helpless and victimized. That can lead to hopelessness, and hopelessness is dangerous, not only for the person feeling it, but for those around them. And so this formula that I've been talking about, courage plus gratitude plus forgiveness plus compassion and action, is neuroscientifically designed to bring that locus of control back inside, where we have the power to make things happen in our life. We have the confidence, and we have the ability to choose love.
I see videos of you. I've watched a lot of videos of interactions throughout the world, and it looks like you're comforting others and hugging others and offering comfort and support to others. How do you stay so positive? As a mother, what you went through would destroy me. And I know you've implemented this Choose Love. How do you have to make a conscious effort to do that every day?
Absolutely, yes. But I do want to say that it wouldn't destroy you. You think, you look at situations. Even now, I look, people will come up to me and they'll say, that is the worst thing that could ever possibly happen to a human being. How did you get through it? And then they shared their story. And I'm thinking, that is much worse than what I went through. When it's just really important to make a decision. Right afterwards, I had a 12-year-old son. And I thought, well, we could be more victims of Adam Lanza and let this destroy us, or we could have a life with joy and love. And I can model for JT what this looks like, how I want him throughout his life. Certainly we want our kids to have beautiful, wonderful, connected, joyous lives that are flourishing. So I can model for JT what that looks like to move through difficulty, roadblocks, challenges, even trauma, pain, and suffering. And really it was kind of in that realization that I could make that choice and that we could have a beautiful life. That was on the table. So was the other option. A lot of people were saying, oh, this is gonna destroy you.
Right.
You will never get over this. People were actually saying that to me. And I was kind of thinking, well, that's not your decision. That's my decision. And I'm going to choose to model for my son how I want him to handle difficulty for the rest of his life. And that really helped me. And I was talking to the parents last night on the square about modeling, because I think it's really important when we are aware that we are doing this. We're modeling for others on a daily basis how to be the best version of yourself. When you're aware that there are always eyes on you, and I'm talking about little eyes, but maybe on me, there are always more eyes on me because I'm in the media. I want to model for other people. I want other people to know that they can make the choice. It's theirs. Helps when you have some skills and tools, but still you can make that choice. And it's amazing to me when I go and I do prison visits, which I love to do, and I speak in prisons, and we have a prison program that's coming out shortly, that these men and women didn't know that they had a choice.
What's your message? If someone's watching this, everyone watching this is having some level of anger or hurt in their life.
Absolutely.
What's your message to someone that's watching this, that just a message of encouragement?
First of all, I want to say that whatever anyone is feeling is okay. Emotions are simply information for our bodies. Nothing is wrong. Whatever you're feeling is fine. The important thing is to listen to it, to be self-aware, to pause and think about what you're thinking about, think about how you're feeling in your body, and then make a choice. Do you want to feel differently? And if you do, make positive actions to do that. Are you anxious? Well, we know that the opposite of anxiety is positive action. We can choose love in that. We can practice our character values to do that. I would want to say to people that anger, even anger, can be a positive thing, because anger can motivate you to make the changes that you need to make. It's not that I'm never angry. Right. Trust me. Don't ask my son, right? because I can be angry, but that's not, it's only a negative consequence for you if it is long-term, because long-term anger is as bad for us as smoking cigarettes. So
Festers.
yeah, I mean, whatever you're feeling in the moment is fine. But think about if you've been feeling a negative feeling for a very long time, that's when you need to make a change, because that's when it's not going to be good for you mentally, physically, and emotionally. You know, over 90% of doctor's visits are stress related. And there are two types of stress. There is good stress that is the majority of what we face every day. It's what we have to do for work. It's a challenge. It's rising to the occasion. It takes effort. It's how we grow. And then the minority of stress, but what some people listening may be feeling, is distress. And that is a very real thing. That is a threat. That's when your life is in danger. It's when it's just too much for you to handle on your own. And that's when you ask for help. Help to move through that. And remember, you can learn from it, grow through it, and actually be strengthened by it.
I wish everyone could experience sitting next to you, because you're just a wonderful, positive presence. And I thank you for sitting down with us today. We're going to share all the resources, link to all of it, so that everyone watching can access all the free curriculum. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You can watch our full interview with Scarlett Lewis online at downtownbentonville.org. To learn more about Choose Love, you can visit chooselovemovement.org. That's it for me on this episode of Downtown Now. You can watch all of our episodes on YouTube and on downtownbentonville.org. Or you can catch new episodes on Saturdays at 5 p.m. on KNWA. Have a wonderful day, and looking forward to seeing you next time in downtown.
Eyes on the Square opened officially in March of 2022. We want every patient's experience to feel truly catered to them. I like to think that I provide one of, if not the most thorough eye exams in all of Northwest Arkansas. I will take time with you. Our goal is that you have the best care possible taken of your eyes. Something we're extraordinarily proud of is the selection of frames that we've curated. Designed and manufactured all over the world. These are collections that you can feel proud to have, because there may not be anyone else in Northwest Arkansas with these on. It's something fun. Something comfortable, fun, and with the clearest vision possible. When we can achieve that, that's when we know we've done a good job, and that's when we're satisfied.